First of all, I have to call the function rev sum, and I'm going to pass the number which the user has given to me, and I've stored it in num. That I've passed it on, and now I need to store the, I need to get whatever is the return from this. Whatever is the return from this, I need to store it and then put it across. Okay, so what does this function, when I call, what does it return for me? It returns for me rev comma s. It returns reverse and s. Is it possible for me to access two variables, which means it's returning me two things? How do I store it, sir? How do I store it? I can store it into one variable. Okay, how do I store it? No, you can store it in two variables itself over here. I can itself say I can store the returning parameters in two variables. Let me call it as r comma s. I will say r comma s. So if I say r comma s, can I say, when I say r comma s is rev sum of num, and this is going to be the r is going to contain the reverse and the s is going to contain the sum. All I need to do is print the reverse of the number. The reverse of the number is what? Is r, and I need to print, okay, the 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 sum of the digits of the number is what? Is okay. If that is the case, let me just save it out. Let me run this. Okay, it tells me invalid syntax. Oh, I'm so sorry, I need to put a comma after this. Okay, so I'm going to have function fi, going to save it, enter a 3-digit number. What is a 3-digit number? Let me say 846. When I say 846, it tells me the reverse of the number is 648, and the sum of digits of the number is 8 plus 4, that is 12, 12 plus 6, that is 18. Oh, that's right. So that's how you can call a particular function, and you can get values back from the function. You can return more than one parameters from the function. For that, this particular example was used to understand it. Remember, for IoT, when you're developing Python programs, you're going to call multiple functions. Your page is gonna, your script is either going to be filled with many functions, or it's going to have many functions being called from other Python files or packages. We are going to have a lot of functions being called. When you're going to call functions, you need to know the syntax of the functions really well to get the flow of your program really well. Understanding functions in Python and understanding how to pass parameters and how to get default parameters if nothing is passed. Can I say my default parameter? Can I just define a default parameter, say 100? If I say, or let me say, I'm just going to pass it as 151. Okay, so if I say 151, reverse of sum, that is 151, or let me say 152. Okay, so if I have a default parameter defined in my function, and if I call the rev sum, okay, if I call the rev sum, okay, so I need to call this particular thing, enter a 3-digit number. Okay, it is telling me to enter a 3-digit number. So when I enter a 3-digit number, say it is 846. When I say 8, or let me say 840, 859, it's going to return for me 958, and the sum of the digits is 22. But sir, that function is already defined. I can call the function here itself because the function is already defined. So let me call the function. Let me call the function rev sum. Okay, it says, okay, it already has a default parameter 152. What if I pass 459? What if I pass 459? It says 954 comma 18. It returns for me the reverse and the sum of digits. But sir, what if I could do something like this? What if I just call rev sum? I explained to you already. It is going to take the default parameter of 152. It is going to reverse that 152 as 251, and it's going to take the sum. So hope you understand how to have default parameters, how to return two values, how to store them, and how to print two values separately. Is that clear? Okay, but now there is one more thing which I want to explain to you. Okay, what if I wanted to print both of these in the same line? The reverse of the sum is r and the sum of the digits of the number is s. I wanted to print these two things together. How will I do it? Is it possible for me to write it like a simple, straightforward line, and I would just be able to, just put in the variable somewhere in between. I just, the sum of the reverse of the number is this, and the sum of the digits of the number is this. Okay, so if I could get the entire string together instead of putting this commas and all that, okay, is it possible for me to do that? Yes, it is very much possible. How do I do it? Okay, so the reverse of the number is, I can say what it is going to be. It is, the reverse of the number is a variable. What is that variable? R. But that R is nothing but an integer. It is nothing but an integer. I just need to say, okay, you just, the reverse of the number is, and I need to tell the string to insert a variable in between this, but that variable is going to be digit. It's going to be a digit, %d. It's going to be a digit, and of course, and person is %d, and the sum of the digits of the number is stored where? Is what is another integer. Can I say that? I can say it as %d. Once again, I'll say %d, and then after writing down that the reverse of the number is %d and the sum of the digits of the number is %d, over here you need to also say which variables you need to insert in place of %, which means in this place of %d you need to insert r. In this place of %d you need to return s, which means it should be in order. So after completing your double quotes, you need to say percent what comma what. You should say percent r comma s. These two variables I need to insert. Of course, I'm going to run this out, and after running it out, it's going to be enter a 3-digit number, and it's going to be saying, okay, so I'll just say over here 856. When I enter 856, it says the reverse of the number is 658, and the sum of the digits of the number is 19. So do you understand how we can format a string using %d? Okay, is that clear? Let's understand formatting a string in more detail in the next lecture. Thank you.